So let us introduce our guest of the evening, guest of the year, because it really has become a tradition to have the managing director of the Jamaica Stock Exchange, Dr. Marlene Street Forrest, on this program to ring in the new year, to tell us how 2024 went, to tell us what the plans are for 2025. And it's my honor to bring her back again for the first show in 2025. Welcome, Dr. Street Forrest.
Good evening, Kalilah. It's really a pleasure to be here again this evening.
You know, I was so sure that it was going to be somebody else sitting in this seat, sitting in this position come January, 14, doing the first interview of the new year, because we heard news of your retirement.
Yes.
Is it that your shoes are so hard to fill, Dr. Street Forrest?
I would not be able to say that, Kalilah. I think what the board is doing, and it's right, is to ensure that the person who succeeds me is the right person for the job.
So you're staying on until, do you have a specific period, or just until they find somebody?
And a good handover process. It is important for continuity.
So indefinite, you're not
No,
quite
not
sure.
at all, not at all, not at all. A couple of months.
All right, fair enough.
Yes.
Well, you are in a good position. How would you grade the JSC's performance in 2024?
You know, I would say that the JSE performed pretty well. You know that over the past couple of years, if you looked at it measured by the index, you would see that the performance on every market seemed to have dipped. But this year, last year, obviously 2024, we are pleased with the results. The JSE's index moved compared to 2023 by almost 3%, 2.58 for then that's for the combined, for the main index 3%, and for the all Jamaican composite 5.78%. The financial index is the only one that we could say really, apart from the cross index and the junior market that went down. But overall, let us just look at the combined market to say we were up 3.22%, and that is marginally up, but up it is. So
Absolutely.
we believe exactly. So we have a positive view of the market in 2024. In other words,
we're definitely pleased to see the return to growth of the JSC in 2024, albeit modest, but we'll take it over the losses that we saw 2022. We're pleased to see that growth finally returning. What were standouts in the year for you? Like, what are things that happened on the market that just really stuck in your mind as like, wow, okay, this was good or bad?
Well, let me say that when you are in a market, you have to develop, and things must move according to how society is moving. And I think one of the standouts for me last year was when we actually launched the Green Bond Guide. And that is telling of things to come. Because as you know, in one of the small developing islands, we suffer in terms of the environment. And so Jamaica launched its first Green Bond Guide in order to prepare ourselves for a new market in 2025. So that was one of the standout for me. The fact is also we had listings. We had 14 listings in the market last year, albeit we would have seen most of those on the bond market based on the fact that, as you know, you have capital markets, the bond and the equity, and more activity was taking place in the bond market last year. So those are the things that stood out for me. Again, the idea that we must serve our customers better, and our subsidiary would have launched its customer service portal. That was important for me as well and stood out as one of
Which subsidiary is that?
That's the Jamaica Central Securities Depository.
JCSD. Right.
Right.
So on the green bond, here on Taking Stock, we're going to be having more information about that for you in a couple of weeks, I think, and over on my other platforms as well. And then when it comes to the bond market, you're right. The bond market was pretty hot in 2024. We saw quite a number of listings. Is that trend going to continue in 2025, you think?
I think we are going to have a number of those, as well as based on what is shaping up now and based on our review, we will see some listings in the main and junior market. And I think based on also the fact that we are awaiting the news of the gazetting of the increase in the junior market threshold in terms of the upper limit, then I think also those companies that are waiting, the SMEs that are waiting in the wings to see that, because it does have an impact on valuation, that we will see more of those in 2025. So despite the fact that we are cautious, interest rate, we did have one basis 1% cut there. I think you will see that will play, as we normally say, play out a little later. We are cautious, but I feel that 2025 is setting out to be a good year.
As you mentioned, the change in the junior market cap, I see a comment here on Instagram from Harry. Still waiting to see Dr. Street Forrest and the JSC live up to the declaration of increase for the cap on the junior market from 500 to 750 mil. So what's the holdup? It just has to be gazetted. That's all we're waiting on.
It would have passed the lower house today. It will have to go to the upper house, and that's the process. And after it goes to the upper house, then the next step is that it goes through that process of being gazetted. Yes.
Okay. Come on, parliamentarians. Chop, chop. We heard this months ago now.
So I think we're on the right train.
The market is anxiously awaiting.
Yes, the market is anxiously awaiting, but I think they are doing what they have to do at this point in time. Yes.
Okay, I see another question here. This question comes from Philip, who wants to know, should we be expecting more IPOs in the coming 6 months than the last 6?
Yes, we should be. And I'm not saying it's based on what we don't know. As I've indicated before, we have been in a season of reviews. Yes, season of reviews in terms of those mergers and acquisitions, but series of reviews in terms of new companies coming onto market. Yes.
Okay. I think we only had 2 last year. We had Omni and we had R.A. Williams.
That would be for the equities market, yes.
For the equities market, yes, because like we mentioned, the bond market had significant activity. Yes. But we mostly talk about equities on this program.
I know, but we should talk about all of what goes on in the market, yes.
We really should. We do talk about bonds a bit, but perhaps we need to make that more of a thing indeed on the program. So yeah, we saw more last year than we saw during the COVID years and the recovery from COVID. Do you have a number of applications before you right now?
We have a few applications in front of us, which is why I'm saying that I'm speaking from a position of what we know already. And you would have heard other companies indicating that they are preparing themselves. Yes.
Mostly junior market?
It's a mix.
Good mix. Good to hear. So we also saw the Bank of Jamaica finally start reducing interest rates in late 2024, and that trend has continued into 2025. Hopefully it continues even further into the year as well, so that we can see better conditions there. How do you think this is likely to impact the market this year?
Positively. But as I've indicated, at all times when there's a cut in interest rate, there is a delay in terms of its impact on the market. The fact that we had 4 cuts last year those will be rolling in now in terms of the delayed response. And so other cuts this year would redound to further down in the year, for example, towards the fourth quarter, of also again picking that steam up for the market. So, which is why you should see a rolling steam in the market for 2025.
You know, one of the things that I have to commend you on for 2024 is that the JSC really took a no excuses stance when it came to companies filing their reports on time, making those submissions on time. We saw, and some people might say it's a negative, but we did see some suspensions in 2024, and some companies took a reputational hit as a result, but you guys stuck to your ground.
Yes, we had, I think, 4 suspensions in 2024, 2 main market and 2 junior market. The fact is, we gave some allowance during the COVID period because obviously persons understood that. And when I'm saying we, it's not only Jamaica or within the region. Internationally, there was some, leniency towards the filing. But at some point, it has to be stabilized. And the issues that are preventing the on-time filing must be dealt with. And obviously, all stakeholders have a part in that. But we have to be mindful of the regulations, the rules. We also have to be mindful of the investors who are expecting a certain stance and a certain standard from companies that are listed on the market. So yes, we did ensure that where the days have been, compromised, that the suspension would be effected. Yes.
Yeah, I agree. It is tough, especially when you're running, one of junior market companies to, take that reputational hit. But I agree that you need to set the standard and enforce it.
You have
I think
to.
I think those lessons were staunchly reinforced in 2023 with, everything that happened with one company in particular that shall not be named at this point. We have several questions from the audience, Dr. Street Forrest. So let me turn to the audience and see what they want to know. Lavar says, I'm happy this is the first interview for the year. My question is on the topic of options trading. I know you expected this question, didn't you? Because I feel like I ask you all the time, every year. Any updates on this since the last time you spoke on the topic?
Yes. Obviously, we spent a long time last year working on the framework, continuing to work on the framework, doing the testings for the Lending and Borrowing Bureau, which is a part of the option trading to allow for seamless delivery of securities, etc. Now, the rules and the framework, both for the JSE and the JCSD, are now complete. They have been reviewed by our internal committees, and they are now with the Financial Services Commission.
Okay, so it just awaits approval?
It awaits approval. We cannot start the market until we have that approval.
Okay, so it's looking like 2025 after all the work that you've put in years.
And the work was necessary. The work was definitely necessary because we have to be conscious and be mindful of investors, young investors, all investors, and to ensure that the framework and the regulatory environment is sufficient, is robust enough to allow for the short end of the market.
Derek wants to know, when will the Jamaica stock market consider getting into the crypto market?
I cannot answer that question. Except to say that I know that at this point, the Financial Services Commission, the government, they would be looking at the framework, what is necessary for cryptocurrency trading on an exchange or otherwise. We will be having the digital trading of digital assets, but one of the areas that we will not pursue at this point is cryptocurrency, the trading of currency.
So what digital assets are under consideration then?
Any other form of digital assets, anything else that you want to trade, whilst it has an underlying security backing it, then one could consider looking at it. So if the if say an artist wanted to look at his trademark, his patents, etc. Those are some of the things that are easily traded on a digital asset platform. So it is going to be for the market to be very creative in terms of what sort of assets it wants to bring to market. The only thing that, as I indicate and underscore, we will not be looking at trading of digital currency.
So NFTs, for example,
Yes.
but not cryptocurrencies.
Not cryptocurrencies.
Okay. Philip wants to know, is the data shop fully rolled out yet? He says, My Money JA has set a really high bar in curating JSC market data. The JSC and or the brokers would do well to partner with them, our own Bloomberg terminal.
We are partnering with them. I believe that we are going to be rolling out the data sphere, it is called, and that will be rolled out before the end of the second quarter. There are some things that we still are putting together so that when we roll out data sphere, you get a complete set of data, whatever it is that you want, that would be coming back from as far as 1968. And that it is easy, because it's pointless getting data if you cannot easily analyze this data. So we are working on that. And the rollout, we had a soft launch, as you probably know, and the rollout will be by the, let us say, somewhere in April, May of this year. And I am actually being very conservative in my response here.
April, May. All right, good. Troyan wants to know approximately what percentage of Jamaicans own a stock account and what's being put in place to increase this number in 2025.
Over 15% of Jamaicans own a stock account. Actually, the number is 380,000 account holders we have. And when you look at it from the standpoint of the adult population, which is about adult population would be about half of the number of 2.5, you'll see where we are. Now, this is coming from about 65,000 in 2006. So you can see the progress that we have made over this period. We continue to make gains in the market. We are in schools, and that's high schools. We are in March going to be rolling out for our primary prep schools, and we continue to do our workshops and things like the conference that we'll be having January 21 to 23. And these are some of the things that we continue to do. And I know that, for example, Kalilah, you continue to make yourself and your company available to teach and explain what this is. And we have benefited definitely from that as well in terms of the growth of the account holders. What we want to say to persons, investors, don't only invest in the IPOs, because sometimes you see an investment in IPO and then that's it. We want you to be regular, continuous investors in the market, and that's the way to for wealth creation.
Yes. Absolutely. So year over year, how many new investors did we gain in 2024?
We got about 40,000 new investors
Nice.
in 20. Yes, that is good. And that surprised me as much as it surprised you, because we figured that with a down market, you probably should be seeing a drop in the number of persons coming, but people are still coming. The fact is, the market is not as robust as it was in 2018, 2019, but we still are adding. So what that says to me, Kalilah, and I'm sure what it says to you is also people are getting themselves ready, although they should be doing it now. And I know you are telling people, get that money, doing it now, because there are so many gems in the market. There's so many companies that are doing exceptionally well. And so why wait until you are tapped out in terms of the price to get the sale? Nobody does that.
Absolutely. Be greedy when the market is fearful, fearful when the
Exactly.
market is greedy. Prepare yourself, because there are always opportunities,
Always opportunities.
regardless of what's happening. When the market's up, there are opportunities. When the market is down, there are opportunities. Now is the best time to jump in.
Precisely, precisely. Isn't that the beauty of the market? Whether it is up or down, you can find and mine gold from the market.
And even more so when options trading becomes a reality,
Yeah.
finally. Nigel wants to know, what about inter-island trading between major Caribbean stock markets?
Well, we do have inter-island trading now for companies that, so I want to get it right, for companies that are cross-listed, because we have an inter-CSD clearance for companies that are cross-listed. We have been working for some time, and I know Nigel might say that, in terms of just one common order book, and that will happen. It is taking a little while, but I think more and more with the push from even the CARICOM, and also just from our younger investors, because it takes that that we will get there.
Okay. So I know you have a big conference coming up next week, the JSC's Annual Conference. Tell us a little bit about it, and how can people buy tickets and participate?
Okay, so the JSC Annual Conference is in its 20th year. So that's a significant milestone. And it's the 21st to the 23rd of January at the Jamaica Pegasus. The Our theme this year is safeguarding the capital markets, people, opportunity, and progress. And we have done a lot to put that plumbing in together, and to build the resources, to build people to understand the market. So the conference is about looking at our gains, looking further beyond at what are the other opportunities that will be in the market. I spoke about the green bond market. I saw when the adverts were going on, that the energy company, they are looking at the fact that we are coming with the green bond market. And so we'll be talking about those things. We'll have, as usual, our Prime Minister opening the conference the first night. And really, that he will be speaking on the issue of what the pro-business approach, how the government can continue to lend itself up to a pro-business approach. The following morning, which will be the 22nd, we'll have the Minister of Finance speaking about how you can use the government assets to the benefit of the nation, the citizens of the nation. We'll be talking about the impact of the global activities, political and otherwise, and what that will have on our Caribbean, on the region, and on the markets, and in Jamaica. So it will be full of current happenings. What are the thoughts of persons on these and more? What investors can look out for? The CEO, Meet the Press, will be speaking to that. What their businesses, what is it likely you will be seeing, and that should give you an idea too as to how you want to invest in the market. We also will be showcasing for the first time. So we'll be launching the green bond market at conference, but we'll also be showcasing for the first time in the evening event. We have a post uh, post conference event, get together, and we will be showing some of the old local film, because the film industry, that whole area of the arts is important to get funding. So carrying persons who have capital and who will be looking at some of these um, movies that will be shown locally, local movies, and to see how you can get the conversation going. So these are some of the things that we'll be seeing. Should be exciting, really, to be there, be at the after event, whatever that is normally called, and to see, to just get to network, because that is where many of the times the discussions take place, the deals are made, the understanding, deeper understanding as to what is going to come for the year. As you know, it sets the stage, and that's why we always have this conference in January, because the pronouncements are made. You can try to keep people to their promises, and it really sets the stage for what is coming in the capital markets for the rest of the year.
Absolutely. Before you go, as you prepare to hand over the reins to a new managing director sometime in the next few months, what would you like to see the JSC achieve in 2025?
Well, I have spoken about those already. It's a data commercialization, obviously, and for the reason, yes, it is a form of diversification for us, but for the reason that we believe that more analysis can be done and should be done for the in the market. So that would give me pleasure to see that that goes off and start to have its impact on the market. Again, I would love to see that before June, we have quite a number of listings on the market, and the green bond, obviously. Obviously, that's one that is near and dear to me. I would love to see us launch and have at least one or two green bonds on the market before mid-year. Yes.
Oren wants to know if the conference is open to the public. Yes, it is,
Oh,
but there's a
oh,
cost, right?
yes.
How
Oh,
much does it
yes.
cost?
Oh, you have put me on the spot there, Kalilah, but let us see if I can find that information. Very minimal cost. Yes, it is open to the public. We want to see the participants coming in, and we have some numbers, figures here. For the full house, which would be the 3 days, it's $230 US. For the group full house, that's a special discount. It's 197 for the special student discount, $97, and for the standard package, 160. And when you call, we are in the business of ensuring that you come, you learn, you interact, you ask the right questions, and you give back also for your knowledge. So when you call the stock exchange, 876-967-3271 to 5, and you talk with the marketing department, you can speak to them about the rates as well.
Oh, okay. Good to
Yes.
know. Well, thank you so much, Dr. Street Forrest. All the best for 2025 as you head on to new and more exciting things.
Thank you very much, Kalilah. It has always been a pleasure to talk with you, to share with you, and also to learn from you.
Awesome.